First Alert Weather with Grant Dade is sponsored by St. Francis Healthcare System.
All right, we've got a live look across the west side of Cape Girardeau. As you can see, it's a pretty nice evening shaping up. We do have a few clouds out there, and clouds will begin to increase. And what we're going to be watching for, see if any of these clouds can billow up and turn into thunderstorms. We've got a very strong southeast wind, which is usually favorable. You see that flag looks like it's pointing right at us. That's right out of the southeast, and that's usually a favorable wind for severe weather at the surface because we usually have stronger winds aloft out of the west-southwest, but we don't have that tonight because the actual storm system is moving up near Minnesota with the lower and mid-level winds. So all we have are strong surface winds, and once you get off the ground, the winds don't increase much from where they are at the surface. And because of that, the storms are struggling to develop. I do think as the front gets a little closer, which right now it's in northern Missouri, as it gets a little closer, we'll get a little more lift in the atmosphere after 9 o'clock, and we'll probably start to see a couple of storms develop. So let's take a look at Futurecast, and Futurecast will be able to tell you the story pretty well. Look at this. By 10 o'clock, I have a couple of big red blobs there. Say, whoa, Grant, those are some big storms. But watch what happens as we go into motion. They start fizzling out. Well, why is that? It's because we don't have any wind shear. Updraft in the storm goes up, and the downdraft comes down. When we have wind shear, the downdraft is much farther away from the updraft and gives the storm time to organize and become strong to severe. This type of scenario, the downdraft comes right next to the updraft, and the updraft gets killed off, and the storm dies down. That was a big red blob, little yellow dot. So that's why we are not very concerned about severe weather overnight tonight. Every once in a while, we'll get a pulse storm, and we get this in the summer a lot, where you get some hail and maybe some gusty winds. The gusty winds look to be protected from us tonight, but the hail, we could see some storms produce up to dime-sized hail in a few areas, I think, as we head towards the overnight hours. Now, the cold front's right here by the lunch hour. Out ahead of it, we've got a prefrontal trough with some storms beginning to develop. And again, some of these could be strong, but the same scenario. You saw those reds quickly die down, and that's because there's just not any wind shear in the atmosphere from about 3,000 feet up. And so the storm organization will be very, very weak, meaning the chance for severe weather will be very, very low, which is good news for everybody. All right, tomorrow's planner, scattered showers and thunderstorms possible at any time of the day. We'll watch the radars closely. Severe weather threat, again, not zero, but it's fairly low. 69 around 1 o'clock, 66 at 5 o'clock. And then as we head towards 3-day forecast, a little quieter on your Wednesday. This is behind the cold front. Still 10 degrees or more above average. So no cold air in sight this week. Now, as we head towards Friday, right now, most of the parameters for severe weather are just to our south in Arkansas and Louisiana, but it's awfully close. So we'll have to watch Friday very closely. And behind that system, we do get a little bit of below average air briefly for the weekend as we cool down.